Yo, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here to I want to call this a societal discussion, but I'm not totally sure how to work it into a specific topic, though, because I'm going to end up rambling. I already know I am. This is more of it's a video that was inspired by Persian Version Speaks, like one of his Real Talk videos, where he was talking about a few issues he had, like he has like anxiety and he's a hypochondriac. Which, by the way, I didn't know what that meant until I watched that video. And that kind of got me thinking about my own issues and about people's issues in general and about how to deal with those types of things. And also the internet's reaction to that kind of shit. Because the first thing I want to say is I don't understand why the internet is like one of the meanest places on earth when it's like everybody has issues. But for some reason on the internet, we get so... I think it's because there's a level of detachment on the internet in terms of you being there but not being there, so you can easily do something that you wouldn't normally do. Maybe it's because of the sense of power that you get or you feel, or maybe it's because you were treated one way and you want to be in their position and do what they did. Some people, I don't know what it is, but you know, it kind of seems kind of fucked up that we kind of treat people like shit on the internet, even though you probably have something that someone can easily bust the shit out of you for. The Persian's video also reminded me that, you know, is the main joy of the internet in itself is the fact that we have these platforms we can just say what the fuck we want. Now, some of us do this just to find a sense of camaraderie. Actually, that's the reason why a lot of people on the internet and why they join YouTube groups or internet groups in general. That's why people are part of forums. That's why people are part of gaming circles. That's why people fucking join communities on the internet. I mean, for God's sakes, a lot of people's reasoning for joining the anime community on YouTube is because you didn't have anyone in real life you could fuck with, or you didn't have enough people online to fuck with to talk about this kind of stuff. And it was one of those things that you wanted some type of interaction. Now, for the deeper shit, like the issues you have, like whether it be a tick, an ability that society says you should have but you don't have, something you're really embarrassed about, or a really weird fetish, whatever the fuck. Those are the things. Those are the type of things that bug the shit out of you. But as I said, the one cool thing about the internet is that you can find other people who have the same problem, and then you don't feel as weird. It makes you feel normal, and it gives you the one thing I love about the internet is the fact that it gives you the ability to move on. It gives you the ability to find other people, kind of calm down your problems or fears or whatever, and allows you to move forward with your life, because people are hung up so badly on, that they have this particular tick or this particular quirk or this particular fetish. And it makes them feel like they're like some type of... I'm about to say something stupid, not alien. Well, yeah, in a sense, it makes them feel alienated, like they're not human in a sense, because they're the only person who has that problem. One pure-cut example of this is the fact that my societal discussion on introversion, I still get videos on that, people praising that video. When honestly, when I look back at the video is just me talking about my opinion and my views that relate to being introverted, and people were just kind of like, people were praising me for that, which you can obviously say that a lot of people were relating to that, and a lot of people, I guess the video helped in a sense because a lot of people were reassured, and to me that's one of the reasons that's like a major inspiration to keep making videos. When I see that a simple discussion about something can make people feel reassured or happy or feel comfortable and shit, and that works. But getting into the deeper issues, the ones that people are afraid to talk about, or if they do talk about, they make like one video and they'll never make one again. There are like a fuck ton of channels that make like one video that may be somewhat serious, or one issue video that's like a little bit serious, and then they just never touch their channel again. A lot of people do that because YouTube, like the internet, is a great place to vent or to kind of just fucking throw out something that you may not necessarily be proud of. And a lot of these videos also share the same kind of qualities. Like, for example, it's usually the person by themselves, or usually in a room. There's usually no loud noise, or if there is, their door is shut, like they're just in the room by themselves. They're never inherently happy. They're just kind of like neutral and shit, neutral or sad. And they're usually talking about some type of serious, and if they're talking about a serious subject or something that's an issue, they're usually doing it in that kind of way. It's like a very somber, quiet, like I'll put it this way: you look more like these people. Usually with those type of videos look more like videos that would come from introverted people. That's the way they look, and then they'll never make another video again because it's something they wanted to talk about and feel some sense of camaraderie about, but they didn't inherently want to join a community or some shit. They just wanted to feel better because it was fucking with them that day or night. Some people, and it's just one of those things that I feel like, if anything, we need to start creating like a community that isn't that dickish like the rest of the internet is. And granted, people also got to learn to be able to handle scrutiny, because they're gonna get that. You're gonna get scrutiny. You're gonna get hated. You can get chastised all over the goddamn internet, no matter what the fuck you're into, because there's somebody out there who hates it. And my fucking thing just timed down on the computer and that confused the shit out of me. And everybody, and Persian was right, everybody has their own fucking issues. I'll give you two of mine. I'll give you, a lot of people ask, I don't think a lot of people know this, but the whole insane game freak thing with me, the insane part is actually based on an issue I have in like real life. See, here's the thing. I used to have major self-loathing issues when I was younger, and that was due to the way I was living, which was the fact that our family moved around a lot because our financial situation was fluctuating up and down the goddamn place. My sister was, for the most part, kind of more of an angry child, and my mother's mood fluctuated depending on our financial situation. And I went through considering I went through periods of being in really good position and really, really, really shitty positions, like to the point where I was sleeping in a fucking car, before I was even in my double digits of ages. It was one of those situations where I used to kind of, in a sense, hate myself because I felt like I was a detriment to my family, because I felt like it's the fact that she has to spend money on me is the reason why. Like, I used to think I was the reasoning behind the issues, and that made me develop a sense of self-hatred or self-loathing if nothing else. I don't think I ever got to the point of suicide. I just kind of got to the point where I wanted to just leave my house. I had the whole running away of the home phase, but the difference is that my whole running away from home wasn't because I hated my mother. It was because I was trying to help my mother by giving her free room so she would have extra money to do what she needed to do. It was that kind of shit. That's where my mindset came from with there. The insane part correlates with that, is because this is the type of shit you don't talk to people about, and I have this really... My friend Kenny tells me it's just me talking. It's that I'm more thinking out loud than me talking to myself. But I've been doing it since I was little. Like when I was going through the periods of self-depression or self-loathing, I would talk to myself and walk around the room and pace around and shit. I still do that now, to be honest with you. I did this, honestly. I can tell you right now, I did this for the video. And people, when they hear me say that, y'all need to understand, it's not this simple, me walking around for a few minutes. No, I can do this shit for hours, just walking around this room and talk. I do that almost every fucking day. I mean, granted, some days I do it less than others, but the whole point is I walk around my fucking room and talk to myself, or just talk out loud or think out loud. I don't really know what to call it. But my mom used to call me crazy a lot when I did this. As I said, I've been doing this since I was little. My mom used to call me crazy. And I don't think it never really bothered me on an emotional level, but I think it stuck with me on a subconscious level. So when I was thinking of my new channel name, the insane part comes from the fact that my mother used to call me crazy, and and at a certain point, I don't know if I inherently started believing that I was crazy, but I think I probably do think I'm crazy. I mean, fuck, I say I'm insane all the goddamn time. Whether it's just based around that or not, I'm not totally sure. As I said, I think part of it's a subconscious thing. But I feel like I feel like in terms of society, we do need to learn to be a little bit more accepting of others. accepting. Yeah, accepting. You know, retrospect, it doesn't sound like A when you say accepting, but that's besides the point. Because everyone has their fucking issues. And I just find it retarded that it's like, I'm going to bust you out for an issue you have when I know damn well I have an issue that if I got bust out for, it'd be the same shit. So why the hell would I do that to somebody else? Well, once again, I think it's that people cope with different issues in their life different ways, and that's the reason why you have so many people on the internet busting other people out for the dumbest shit. Some people like to say racist shit not because they're inherently racist, but just because they know it will fuck somebody's emotions up. And that's the problem. You know, you're causing a detriment to people who may already have problems. Like the girls who cosplay to kind of break out of their shell, and the first few comments they get on their first cosplay is, "Bitch, you look ugly. You don't look like Nami, or you don't look like whoever the fuck you're cosplaying as." And I'm just like, wow, you know, this isn't helping. The internet can be a great place to kind of, you know, bond and socialize and improve on yourself in a sense, but you have other people on the other side just kind of like, the problem is they're improving themselves too, but it's at the detriment of someone else's self-esteem or personality. It's just kind of fucked up. It makes me annoys me more is there's a lot of not introverted people, but a lot of people in their like darker moments will jump on this site. Not saying everybody jumps on their site, but some people jump on this site in their darker moments. Even some of the bigger YouTubers, if you look at those Draw My Life videos, you see a lot of them were suffering from like shit that you wouldn't think they were suffering from, like something that contradicts their current personality. And then they did end up doing the videos they made that got them famous because of that awkwardness, and they felt a need to express themselves in a certain way. Like for example, I think one of the guys in Smoshes was like that. And considering the video they got famous off of was that fucking Pokemon opening parody, it just that's kind of weird in retrospect. That the guy who did that had issues with socializing. It's that kind of stuff, and I feel it just bugs the shit out of me. And people are, and it also explains why people are so distrusting of people nowadays. Because once again, as I said, every small little thing somebody's gonna bust you out about. That's just how, and technically that's not right. It's kind of a thing that we developed because our society promotes self-comedy, using yourself as the brunt of the joke. But some people aren't used to that, or some people can't handle that. That's why you have people who get quote-unquote sensitive over the internet. But it's not really you getting sensitive, it's you having a normal human reaction. It's like when people say you're being sensitive on the internet, I'm like, you can't fucking say that, because human beings are supposed to be sensitive. They're supposed to be receptive. The difference between you and that other person is the fact that you've been on the internet so long that you've dulled your fucking senses to that kind of shit. But there's nothing inherently wrong with having that kind of sensibility. It's just more of, it's a detriment on the internet, because the internet, they don't give a fuck about your feelings. But that's what we do. Our society promotes busting out people when they get emotional, and it's kind of fucked up in retrospect. But that's what we do, because we find the shit funny. We find that shit funny because we're sick ass individuals. Which brings me to this point. I want this video to be kind of that kind of video where you make video responses about something that may be bothering you, or something about your life that may be fucking with you. I'm not saying we gotta get hardcore deep about some type of repressed memory or some shit. I'm just saying like simple stuff. I actually think the explanation behind my YouTube name, that was the first time I've actually told that story, which doesn't seem like it. And here's another thing, and this one is something that's been bothering me recently. I feel like since Persian, expressed some issues, I feel like I go to express something in mine. The insane thing is something, obviously, that's not necessarily recent. This is recent. I've been talking like for a good 30 minutes before I made this video, so my voice might be dying on me, but here it is. I've said this before, that I'm like really paranoid. I have like this fear of it's like I have like a natural fear of spiders. And spiders, that's kind of a stereotypical fear. A lot of people don't like spiders and shit. But my paranoia and my overactive imagination fucks me over with this. Because here's the thing. And this has been happening like for the last few weeks. I was on my computer over here, and had my arm out, messing with, moving the mouse and shit. And I felt something tickle on my arm, and I turned my arm over, and it was like this weird looking thing that I guess was a spider. And you see, my whole thing is with my overactive imagination, I can think things that aren't real are real. It's not like to the point where I confuse reality with, not reality. It's just my overactive imagination gets me way too aware of my senses, and I become paranoid. Every fucking hair on my arm moving is something touching me, and I go out to like grab my arm and move it and shit. I saw this fucking spider looking thing on my arm, and I hit it, and it freaked me out. And now, like, over the course of a few weeks, I can't, like, even if I'm not thinking about it, when I go to sleep, my mind starts just going into spider mode. Like, I fucking just keep thinking about spiders. And as I say, with my overactive imagination, every shift or every movement in my bed, even if I'm the one making the movement, makes me feel like there's a fucking spider in my bed. And it's actually, and some nights it's worse than others. Like, I think, what was it, like, was it last week? Yeah, last week. It got to the point where I went to sleep, and I freaked out to the point where I jumped out of the bed and just started walking around. Because that's how much it fucking bugged me. Like, my overactive imagination fucks me in the ass so many times. I'll give you another thing. I was actively afraid of Chucky, the doll, Child's Play Chucky, for the majority of my childhood. I saw a movie when I was really young, and the overactive imagination thing once again fucked me over. What kind of helped me out there, though, is because it was so old, I kind of forgot about it. But I still couldn't, I couldn't even look at pictures of Chucky. Actually, the same thing kind of works with spiders, even without that incident. Without spiders, I could look at a picture of a spider, and I had to get up. Because then my mind would think there's a spider right next to me, or in my room, or on my back, or whatever the fuck. I would have to just wait until my mind mellowed out. The only thing that I got a little bit better with the Chucky situation is because I think like a few years ago, my sister had bought like the Seed of Chucky, which from what I understand is like the worst Chucky movie, and we watched that together. I asked her if we could watch that together, and I kind of mellowed out, but it still bugged me on some level. Like, I still can't necessarily look at Chucky related shit without it not fucking with me. Same thing with spiders, honestly. And I feel like one day I'm going to have to just sit down and get myself mind shocked from it. Like, I'm going to have to sit down, watch Child's Play, and just fucking deal with it. And the same thing with spiders. I'm going to have to just watch a whole bunch of shit with spiders in it. And I can I'll put it this way, even the Pokemon Galvantula bugs the shit out of me just because it looks like a spider. I can kind of put up with that thing in the game. I swear to God, the episode in the anime where it appears just fucking freaked me out for a minute. I'm not even joking. I can't watch the episode and not jerk a little when I see that damn thing. Because it's a fucking spider. I'm just fucking weird like that. But those are two things I haven't inherently told anyone. I'm dead serious. I've not said anything about those two things. And what makes it worse with the spider situation is that there was another situation where I was on my computer and I thought I saw a spider on the monitor and I jumped up and I freaked out. But that one bothered me more because I couldn't fucking find it. I couldn't even necessarily prove it was there. But I'm like, I saw the legs on the side of the goddamn corner of the monitor. And there's nothing worse than seeing something that you can't prove that was there, or not seeing it still exist like a few seconds after the fact. Like, the first thing I could claim, I knocked it off my arm and it was on the floor. That second time, I was just like, fuck, please don't let that be what I think that is. That, that it was there, but it really wasn't there. But those are just two things that bug the fuck out of me, and I feel like just in terms of YouTube shit, I feel like people need to become a little bit more accepting of that, and that whole sensitive bullshit needs to die in the fire, because we all have our fucking issues. We all have our fucking insecurities. And honestly, I'm saying, some people, obviously you're not going to convey every goddamn thing on the internet. Some people do, and it helps. But they have to deal with a whole bunch of bullshit, and if you're not ready for that, then I wouldn't fucking do it. But obviously you got people you're really close to, and you're willing to divulge a lot of information. But people are so easy to fuck you over. People become really closed in. That's the joy of YouTube, is that, and the internet, is the fact that it gives you another way of interacting with people without directly interacting with people. Meaning, if people judge you from the internet, since you don't know them, it gives you the ability to brush it off easier than if your friend or your parents did it. Like if you told your parents something very serious and your parents thought it was a fucking joke, that would bother you more than like 6 niggas from Australia saying some shit. That's just how it is. But that's really all I have to say. You know, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I hope this helps. I hope this helps anyone who has any issues specifically. Oh, and I guess I'll throw in one other thing. I can't fucking swim. I guess that's something. That one doesn't really bother me on that high of a level, but I feel like eventually I need to buckle down and do that shit. But that's just, you know, whatever. So yeah. Can't wait to see all the negative comments. Alright. Anyways, last the game, play to win. Catch you guys later. Peace off.